I would say. This is taken from a guy called Larry Mascheroni. He was, I believe, a member at Rally, and he came up with these 4 quadrants of metrics. So my last plea to you, not last plea, but my kind of final aspects is think about the metrics that you're collecting, right? Or that you want to collect, or that you want to investigate or explore or navigate or adventure with your team. Do it collectively with your teams. Do not do it in silo. I have definitely learned from that. Don't do it in silo. And think of it, I think what Troy McGuinness as well as Larry Mascheroni speak about is quality, which is basically all about how well are we doing? What are the number of escape defect counts? What's the test count pass rate? What's the measure of release readiness that we're doing? All that kind of cool quality stuff, right? Bugs, bug management stuff that we do. Then the second one, the second big, I guess, holistic metric that you want to look at is productivity. I already mentioned some of that stuff before, like throughput, throughput, cycle time, not cycle time, throughput, a number of releases per day. There's velocity here. I don't really agree with velocity personally. I'm not a big fan of it, but I know Troy McGuinness and Larry Mascheroni speak about it quite a bit, and they're bigger than me, so I'm guessing there's some value there. But I personally don't like velocity because it shows you about what the speed is for a certain given thing. And I feel that it's not looking at it systemically, but there is some value there, absolutely. The third thing is responsiveness. In agility or agile or lean agility or business agility, there's so many different words out there. There's a big focus, I think, on some execs about how fast are we going. And I always say in the agile space, sometimes we have to slow down before we go fast. Or I wouldn't say how fast we're doing, I would say how sustainable are we? But maybe that's a different thing. So in responsiveness, it's about the cycle times, how many stories you're getting done per unit of time, looking at the customer lead time from when you start an epic or start a big project and you complete that big project. What's your responsiveness? How quick are you at closing down things? And the fourth quadrant is predictability. How repeatable are we? How stable are we? How good is your data to show you that there is some level of predictability that you can make? If your data ranges are so varied and wide, right? For example, I'll give you an example. If your cycle times are anywhere between 1 day and 150 days in one sprint alone, that's a high level of variation or variance, as Troy McGuinness calls it. And you want to really get that variance, i.e. from the minimum, what is the slowest item in your, or slowest cycle time, and what is your fastest cycle time range. You want to bring that in a little bit, right? So, that's the key thing that we should focus on, is how can we bring those cycle times, together, so that between the lowest cycle time and the fastest and the longest cycle time ranges, how can we bring those ranges in a bit, right? How can we unblock ourselves in other ways? This is all about stability. And going back to the flamingo strategy, the flamingo strategy looks at all 4 of these things, by the way, and more. So the flamingo strategy, as I mentioned to you, the pink flamingo strategy is based upon flow metrics and some other forms of data, and you can put your own metrics on there however you wish to. I'm just going to have a quick rain check in case if I've lost anyone. Right? Yeah. Mindy, how are we doing for time? Have I got some time available?
Yes, you still have time available. You're good.
Cool. Good.
We have about, it goes until about 1:30 Eastern time.
Oh, cool. So my aim is not to speak for too much, because I want to give some opportunity for people to ask questions as well, of course. So I'll speak for another 10 minutes, and hopefully we'll take a pause and see where we get with things. So as I mentioned, the 4 quadrants by this fabulous gentleman called Larry Mascheroni. He's quoted by someone called Julia Wester. Julia Wester is a fascinating speaker on metrics. If you have time, do check out her tutorial on YouTube called The 6 Fails of Metrics, I think it's called. It's quite funny. Cool. So and this is what it looks like on Troy McGuinness's Excel template, by the way. So that, again, all the links can be shared with you as well. It's not a problem. These are all accessible on GitHub. So Troy is a fabulous human being who shares his learnings online, and you can find out what the pink flamingo, or should I say in Troy's word, or in Larry Mascheroni's word, what these 4 quadrants look like, and you can look at trends. So the key you.